My mom waters a rock every single day. Legend says if you water it 20,000 times, the rock will grant any wish she wants. But I never believed it. I grabbed a crowbar and knocked the rock over, but that scared the villagers around me. And what was even scarier was that I actually lifted the rock up. The villagers started praying in a panic, but what they didn't expect was that I carried the rock down to the bottom of the waterfall. Then I told my mom that this counted as 50,000 waterings in an instant, and soon something magical happened. A mask suddenly fell right at my feet. From that day on, I stared at the mask every single day. Until today, I accidentally traced the outline of the face on the mask. As I slowly sketched the owner's features, my heart started racing. So I rushed toward the upper part of the waterfall. When I reached the upper part of the waterfall, I saw a fairy covered in butterflies. So I jumped toward her with all my strength. But just as I grabbed a branch, the fairy suddenly disappeared again. So I followed her, climbing against the flow of the waterfall. In the end, I used a branch to make a bow and arrow. I leaped into the air and shot a long arrow through the giant tree on the mountaintop and got it stuck there. And just like that, I finally reached the top. The fairy was right in front of me, but just as I reached out to touch her, she turned into butterflies and flew away. I kept searching for the fairy in the forest. Suddenly, I heard a scream. I ran over to check. A girl burst out of the woods, and a group of soldiers rushed out behind her. Clearly, the girl was being hunted. I excitedly followed behind them. Just as the soldiers were about to catch her, she suddenly shouted a mysterious spell. A long sword appeared from the air. She spun around, and the sword pierced through the soldier's body. Then the other soldiers fell one after another. Turns out there were archers hiding up in the trees, and in an instant, all the soldiers were killed. I completely fell in love with the girl. So to catch her, I set up a trap and lured her over. Sure enough, the girl fell right in. I happily walked over to look, but then a sword pressed against my back, and the blade was about to stab into me. I quickly shouted that I loved her to distract her. Then I grabbed her tightly. We rolled all the way from the snowy mountain down to the grassland. The girl was furious. All she wanted was to chop me to pieces. Then with a backflip, I grabbed her sleeve, spun around and pulled off her outer robe, then lifted her fluffy long hair and pressed her under the waterfall. Then I crushed some fruit to draw eyeliner and lipstick for her. When the girl turned her head, she saw me holding her lost mask. Then she finally believed I came all the way from the mountain for her. She hugged me in tears, but she still had to go save the princess. So she knocked me out and left alone. But she hadn't gone far when something unexpected happened. A soldier suddenly threw a fishing net over her, and they captured her alive, just as they were about to hurt her. I showed up in time and saved her. As the soldiers got closer, I rushed to push down a giant boulder nearby. That successfully stopped the pursuers. But what I didn't expect was that the impact of the boulder caused a landslide, so I quickly ripped off some tree bark and slid down with the girl, just as the snow was about to bury us alive. A cliff appeared in front of us. I leaped off with the girl, and we barely escaped death. Not long after I reached the palace was building a giant statue of the king, but then a slave suddenly